cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye all the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow. I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ugh! Hey! Don't you dare run away! What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away! I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris? Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime, that's why. You mean because of the writing in blood? And the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely, you don't suspect Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect. Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No. Though, thankfully, my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school, Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes. I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but it was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think. So no more of this self-pity, okay? There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes. I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before. 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case! The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case. No. That woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth! She's totally related to this case! I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me. But the problem is, she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well,
Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently, her sister was raised by her father. A jeweler, I think.
A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right?
Yes, exactly.
Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please.
It was my first court case, 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died.
You're talking about Terry Fowles, right?
You know about that case?
You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago.
Yes. Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Fowles conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking.
Her sister?
Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife.
Oh. And this is when she entered my life. The woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check that out?
Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case.
Why are you so sure about that?
It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead.
What?
Well, the metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak.
What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth?
Right. I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, thanks to the persistence of Mia Fey.
Mia Fey! Mia Fey! At the time, Dahlia... It's like she was possessed by a demon or something.
It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month.
Executed?
I'm sure this is a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. But do you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead. Once someone is dead, there is no way to revive them.
There's no way to revive the dead? I wonder. It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth.
And what is that?
It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother.
What's their mother got to do with any of this?
She's Morgan Fey, a spirit medium from a branch family of the currying channeling technique.
Did you say currying channeling technique?
Do you know something about it?
Oh, yes. I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium.
Fraudulent?
I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of her channeling school. Do you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She and her powers, they were all fraudulent.
Edgeworth.
Go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check the DL6 incident case file and you'll know.
Of course. How can I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then, you'll see that the Currane channeling technique is real. Alright, time to break these cyclocks down. First one, for you, Iris. Take that! I think it's time you told the truth about what you were doing on that night. You said you were in your room at Hazakura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too. But I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder! Take that! I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini? Her testimony in court today was very clear. At night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder! Yes. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training was to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early, so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So, I would have left about 9:40 p.m., I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. Huh? Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this. Take that! You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright. You even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten. No. That's right. I remember. And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I managed to prove 2 things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There's only one possible explanation for this apparent impossibility. There were 2 of you. On the night of the incident, you were seen in 2 different places at the same time. Which means there must have been 2 of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris. But that's crazy. How could that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible. Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise. Oh, you're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? And show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there's more than one of me. Take that! I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne. A woman I know only too well.
I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer...
Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? Sorry.
Thank you.
There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? This second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder? It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne!
You just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that?
Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo! A training ground of the Kurain channeling technique. At night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it! And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me! Ah! Gotcha! You're done.
I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted in the inner temple, I knew. I knew it was my sister. Dahlia, the other half of me, who passed away last month.
Just as I suspected. The Iris that Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne! Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because my sister always does the right thing.
Excuse me?
And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again.
You betrayed her? What do you mean?
That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way.
What is she talking about?
You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It's what started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because I betrayed her!
How did you betray her, Iris?
It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing.
What?
But I got scared, so I ran away.
What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful!
But I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money.
Huh?
It was revenge on our father.
Revenge? What do you mean by revenge?
He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell.
Her mother? She must be talking about Morgan Fay.
Our mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, our mother was set to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place. For power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her. She took over as the master of Kurain.
That would be Misty Fay, Maya's mother.
But before long, the credibility of the Kurain tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dime, and that he had no reason to stay there.
And that's when you came here to Hazakura Temple?
Yes. The woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I had no place in his new family, you see.
Oh,
I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family. I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally.
I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together.
I invest everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything related to it goes back to the history of the Fae clan.
That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me.
What is it?
During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard anything about him?
Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts.
I see. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Hurry up, Phoenix Wright! There's still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them for you, I promise.
Thank you. Suppose I better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's psych lock. Look at that! They already did make a fire, right in front of the shack.
Oh! Mr. Nick!
Huh! You're too late, Nick! If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now, I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Alright, Pearls, here we go. Take that! After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in the Elise Donim's room, reading a book together, correct?
Yeah, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go? No.
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried. I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearls never went to Miss Donim's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls, on the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? Take that! You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not gonna open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now, I'm gonna take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You need to know?
If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth?
Okay.
You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this! Take that! It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. I signed up for your special course. Well, my. Quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you get one of those with your channel. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing at the Inner Temple.
One down!
Then we're clear now that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow, and I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
She heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple bell is pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell? Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. Take that! You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper?
Where did you...
In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing!
These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
Me? No.
As you can see, a large portion has been burnt. But the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Take that! It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. 3 down. It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris who Sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? Take that! Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you. That's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. All right, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth. Why's she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Rest of me. Just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I follow these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I Guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it!
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
Couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
Simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given. But you misunderstood some of the words. And this is the evidence that proves it! Take that! It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
What? Why would I do something like...
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast among others, right?
How do you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Donim on the night of the murder?
Perhaps we can read some books together. Me? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading.
Well then, would you like to practice reading with me?
This these? So, for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Sure, Miss Donim taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant.
Gravely sounded like gravy to me. And the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
To be honest, did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless. I couldn't even bend the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing. I couldn't even do it right.
Gotcha!
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Master of Kareem, like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past time when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes. I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then,
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry! I didn't mean to! I just couldn't help it!
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris, too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple?
Yeah. When I woke up this morning, I tried not to cry, but the ski bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter in the incinerator, and I heated up the leftover gravy and
let off some steam by checking the gravy on the scroll while you cried? Must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry.
it was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday and this morning, the whole time. I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh! Just like that. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
Suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone else?
What do you mean? Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yep. It's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken.
That would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yeah, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it.
My mother's gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month, she told me,
The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our hub before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae Clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden.
my mother's always nice to me. I love her very much.
Yeah. Moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was the good of the Fae Clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mr. Maya's part of the Fae Clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, Mr. Nick.
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture with her letter too,
A picture?
of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually, a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh?
Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange.
Someone had opened it already? Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother's watching over us, so I'm sure Mr. Maya will be all right.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh.
Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? Finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Godo! The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop.
Guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort.
But it's all a waste of time.
Why do you say that?
Because Maya Fey isn't coming back.
What? You don't know what you're talking about! How can you say something like that?
It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances.
And you, Sam, we had a great Christmas as well, man. Cheers, dude. I realized that, but...
And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them.
But I didn't know anything about what was going on!
Huh. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow,
We'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all.
Mr. Nick? Is what that man just said true?
He'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the Master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
Is Maya alive? We'll find out in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Hello guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, you can check out my social media platforms, which are right below my screen. Please check us out and support the show that way. Don't forget, you can watch the action all live on twitch.tv/Stu Waters, where all the action is live with no breaks and no edits. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.